Yo, still Mills, what's the deal, man? Yo, peep game, man. I got to finally watch Conor Benn versus Adrian Granados, man. Good win for Conor Benn. I don't know how this man does it, but this dude's stamina is his conditioning is through the roof, man. For him to wing the shots that he was winging and still being able to throw those shots at the same speed, the same velocity, deep in the fight into the 10th round. That shit was, I thought that shit was pretty amazing, man. Good win. Oh, most definitely your best win thus far. Adrian Granados has been in with some tough top opponents. Only been stopped once. Yeah, I mean, just it's a good win. It's most definitely a really good win for Conor Benn, man. But man, we got to talk about Conor Benn, bro. Like, I didn't really like what I saw last night. And I'm not even gonna front. I wasn't really a fan of it. Firstly, those winging shots. There's so much fat on those punches, man. It's and whew, like how Adrian Granados was able to control you with the jab in the early 2 rounds, spinning you off the jab, catching you coming in, timing you because you're coming down straight on the line, man. It's not really upper body movement. It's upper body movement when you can time the shot coming at you, man. But it's not. I don't know, man. I think it's it's a certain nuance in how cats come forward, man. People can come straight down the line, but because they're so elusive, people are apprehensive on throwing the shot because they don't want to get countered and caught. They don't want to get slipped and countered. With him, he was just coming straight down the line. You dig? He would, he would really open up in exchanges. He slipped a few jabs here and there, but it was nothing like Canelo-esque, where it's just, it's a slight move. It's a slight. You're ready to. You're anticipating the shot coming at you, so you already have your upper body in motion. So you have your upper body in motion, so you're anticipating the shot, so you're that much more. You're a little bit harder to hit because you're already moving your upper body slightly. Even though it's nothing drastic to get out of the way of a shot, you're still in motion as you come down the line. Your upper body is. I did not see that from Conor Benn. I did not see that. And how he was getting controlled with the jab was like, yo, bro. Like if Adrian Granados can look like Ali in the ring, it's a problem, man. It's a problem. Because that's not his game, man. That's not to denigrate him or nothing like that. I'm definitely not trying to castigate Adrian Granados because I think that was a quality win for him. But, bro, I can't I can't ignore how he was jabbing you. In the first 2 rounds, of course, because I think after, from 2 to 10, you pretty much dominated. I had Adrian Granados winning like the 7th or the 8th, one of those rounds. Nonetheless, he was still, like, those first 2 rounds told a really good story, man. And like, yo, that was that was glaring what I saw right there. Just not really the best head movement. Not really the best head movement, man. He was coming straight down on the line, just begging to be caught. And yeah, and then after that, I saw, your punch selection, man. You don't have. I wasn't seeing vocabulary with your punches, man. I was seeing what I mainly saw was you looking to wing that big looping right hand, and you was missing big, and he was getting countered off of it. He was countering you. And he'd get in, land the jab to the body, and then he knew the right hand was coming. He knew his distance to get in there and land that, place that jab right in your gut, and then be out by the time the right hand comes. He was rolling a lot of the right hands. He was rolling a lot of them, man. And you was throwing them all night, man. Like, it was no setup. It was no jab with, it was no meaningful jab. It was no deceptive jab. Usually somebody will go in there and try and establish the jab, try to connect you with, connect on the shots with the jab. It was none of that. You would barely, you would throw a lazy jab and then launch a big right hand, winging right straight down the middle, and it would miss. It would miss. You would do that a lot. You would do that like that. You probably had to throw a million right hands that last night. But I'm seeing it. I'm like, yo, what is this? Like, come on, man. Like, no, bro. No. There was no feints. No. You didn't work with the. You didn't work off of the jab. There was no jab to the body, double jab. Hook off the jab, feint the jab, throw the left hook. And it was just no mixing up the punch selection. It was just, you was just throwing a lot of big shots, a lot of big. Oh damn, my order ready already. I'm up here at McDonald's for the kids. Hold on. Thank you. Oh, appreciate it, ladies. Y'all have a better one. Thank you. Oh man, I got all my nieces, well not all of them, but I got nieces and nephews at the crib, and my 3, and now I gotta go get something for my wife. So just spent $40 up here at McDonald's, man. This shit is bad for us, but it's convenient. But yeah, man. Is that me? Oh, I thought that was my car. But yeah, man, I saw a lot of winging shots, man. Just I was like, no, bro, this can't be it. No, because I speak very highly of Conor Benn. I'm pretty high on Conor Benn. You dig? The dude is a dog. The dude comes in there. He comes to fight, man. He's a motherfucker. He likes to fight. I don't think he likes the fact that his dad was a fighter, and he's, oh man, you trying to live off the hype of your dad. I think that shit may bother him. It's like, nah, I'm trying to be my own. I'm trying to pave my own way. That's how he fights. And he comes to fight, and just his conditioning is A+, man. Like yeah, but I think he needs a few more step-up fights before he's even ready for a shot at a solid contender. Because I did not like what I saw in there from Conor Benn last night. I really didn't, man. The dude just that man. If Adrian, because Adrian Granados is most definitely a step-up fight, but Adrian Granados is not. I can name, there's contenders at the moment who are better than Adrian Granados. No slight at my man, but nah, he's not one of the top dogs in the division. So if Adrian Granados can make you look that vulnerable, man, I can only imagine what the likes of a Virgil Ortiz would do to you, or even a Ives Cavaliasquez. That would be problematic. I mean, it was a point in time where you threw an uppercut and you did a Michael Jackson spin off of it, bro. Oh no, I'm like, yo, this can't be life, man. This and I'm bigging you up, because I think you're dope. I think you're dope, man. But this most definitely needs to be a learning experience for you. You and your coach need to go back to the table, go back to the drawing board, and tune you up a little bit more, because I didn't like what I saw last night, man. I didn't like what I saw. The jab was not there. It was way too much fat on them right hands. You threw them at the same trajectory. You didn't thaw them. Remember, you throwing the right hand to the body, right straight to the body until late in the fight. I could be wrong, but I'm just like, yo, the body work was there. You did when you would get in close quarters. It was there. I think you got pretty good inside fighting, but even on the inside, you throw wide shots in the phone booth. It's wide shots because you really trying to get a nigga out of there. And that's what's dope about you. You like to fight. You love to fight. You love to brawl. Like, that shit is dope. You love to entertain the crowd, man. And you have the stamina and the endurance to do it from 1 to 12. I'm real impressed that you went 12 with Adrian Granados, not 12 but 10, and you looked like you was fresh out of round 1 all the way in the 10th round. I thought that was real good. That spoke to your conditioning and your cardio, man. But now that you've proven you're able to, sustain that level of that level of pressure and that pace for an entire fight, let's go back to really refining your tools, man. Let's get back to, all right, cool, let's get on the jab. Let's get on the jab. We're gonna dedicate 3 rounds on the mitts to just pumping the jab. We're gonna dedicate another 3 rounds to, hooking off of the jab. Jab upstairs, hook downstairs, hook upstairs. Jab, just really developing vocabulary off of the jab, man, because that 1-2, that lazy jab and the 2 off of it is not gonna work. If you were in there with a sharpshooter, it would have been bad, man. It would have been bad. And I you and Shabazz, you and Sean Porter y'all have a even, what they call that, a common opponent in Sebastian Formella. You are not ready for Sean Porter at this point. Not at this point. Not at this point, man. I would barely say not even an Adrian Broner, because Adrian Broner's a really good counterpuncher. He's a really good counterpuncher, and he's slick. He's slick. The thing is, if he's worried about you, you clearly you're a big puncher, but he'll be a little bit more apprehensive on pulling the trigger if you can land, or if he knows the shot is there. If it's there and it hurts, he'll be a little bit more apprehensive. But I don't, with them right hands coming as wide as they were, I don't think he'd be that much apprehensive on pulling the trigger. I think he'd just pull the trigger, bro. Like man, there's certain attributes about your game that I really dig. I fucks with, man. I do. I do. I dig the fact that you come to fight. I dig that shit. But man, oh man, I really need you to go back and sharpen up them tools, my man. I do, because I speak very highly of you. And even one of my niggas hit me up in my inbox like, man, you still fuck with this nigga? Like, that dude is a dog. He comes to fight, but that nigga, garbage truck juice, was on your ass. I'm like, man, fuck. I do think, but even then, these is what these step-up fights are for. These is what these step-up fights are all about. You're gonna look vulnerable when you step up. You're gonna look vulnerable when you step up in competition, and this was most definitely a step up in competition. So you're supposed to look vulnerable. You're supposed to look like, I don't know if he's ready for. Not everybody comes out in a step up fight like, yo, all right, he ready for championship opposition. So you're supposed to be a little bit vulnerable going into a fight of this magnitude. You dig? You're supposed to be in a little bit more vulnerable when you step up in competition. Like, yo, man, that. What do you expect? These type of fights are good. This is why I say, when you gradually move up in competition, certain fighters are gonna bring, highlight certain flaws in your game that you can. All right, it'll be better for you to learn the flaws in the now. You won the fight, so that's good in itself. But you won the fight, but you still look vulnerable. So what you looking vulnerable in a victory, you can go. It's all right, cool. I had that momentum or whatever. You down or whatever on you. Like, damn, man, I didn't look my best. I got the fight, so you still have that confidence. All right, cool. I still won. But you got to go back to the drawing board and figure some things out. It's good that you did that in the now, as opposed to fighting somebody like a Sean Porter or somebody that you're gunning for, or even Amir Khan. Because I wouldn't put you in front of Amir Khan either. I wouldn't put you in front of Kell Brook either. I wouldn't put you in front of them dudes. I wouldn't. And I wouldn't be surprised if they came with like, yo, I'll take that fight now after this performance. I wouldn't be surprised if they was on that. So, yeah, homie. Yeah, bro, I will most definitely go back to the drawing board on that one, and really hone in on developing more combinations. Because at the moment, that 1-2, just the 1-2, the 1-2, the 1-2, we see it coming a mile away. We see it coming a mile away. And when you get in there with somebody who's a sharper counter, who can control you off of the jab, spin you off of the jab consistently, and punish you for opening up that wide, when you start getting flushed, because you was getting flustered because you was not hitting Adrian Granados early on. You was not hitting him. He'd hit you with the jab. He was countering you on the inside early on. We can't ignore that. So if you're dealing with somebody who can, Adrian Granados can look Ali like on you. Whew, man. And when you talk about somebody like Sean Porter's best work is on the on the inside, really going to work on the inside. He's a workhorse, man. So I think that's where you prefer to be, because you like to fight. Sean Porter might stop you, and he's not even known as a puncher. If you were to go in with a fight and go in to fight Sean Porter in the now, I'd have Sean Porter stopping you, dude. I did not like what I saw last night from Conor Benn. I don't think you're overrated. You don't have an extensive amateur pedigree or whatever. Like, you kind of dove into the sport, into the pro rankings raw. And for you to be where you are, that's a good thing. That's, Adrian Granados is a good win for you, for somebody, of your ilk at the moment. So I'm not knocking the win, but there is some glaring fallacies that I did see last night, man. Mainly the jab, then the lack thereof, the lazy jab just to try to set up the right hand. You did not set up that right hand in any way. You didn't throw, I didn't see no left hooks, and a lead left hook, right hands. I didn't see any of that. I just saw the one lazy jab, two, lazy jab, two, lazy jab, two, lazy jab, two, coming straight down the line. Lazy jab, two, lazy jab, two. I saw wide shots in the clinch. I didn't see the best of balance, man. I can't ignore that uppercut into the Michael Jackson spin. I can't ignore that. I can't ignore that. You look most definitely sharper against the Sebastian Formelas and even the Samuel Vargas fights. And now I'm questioning that, because I'm like, man, what could Samuel Vargas have done a little bit? Like, what would have happened if that fight was if the ref didn't jump in and stop that fight when he did? You gotta, nah, bro, nah. It's not too late to say, to change up what the fuck everybody saw last night. I don't think you're overrated. I don't. We gotta get the, it's nuances in this shit. So with you're a little, like I said, you're a little bit greener than everybody else. You don't have the extensive amateur pedigree. You don't. And you beat Adrian Granados, that's a good win for somebody of your caliber at the moment, man. But for the people that you're trying to call to try to rush your career, I think it could be problematic, man. I would not put no. These people you're talking about calling out are, former world champions. Sean Porter and shit like that. Like, Sean Porter's a former world champion, and people are still scratching their head on whether or not he lost that fight against Earl Spence. Yeah, I would most definitely give you a few more step up fights. Because I wouldn't wear the likes of I don't think you're on the level of a Virgil Ortiz or even a Geron Ennis, and I think you'll win. I think Adrian Granados is a better win than a Thomas Delorme. I do. But nah, man. Nah, bro. Nah. Watch this fight and learn from it, pretty please, because I think you have a high ceiling, but you're still green. You're green, even though this was a good win for you, but you're green, and I think you can learn from this. Don't get discouraged. Learn from it. You and your coach get back in the gym And y'all, y'all work out the shit that y'all gotta work out. Iron out the wrinkles in your game from what we saw. And hopefully by the time, next fight, you're a different fighter. But yeah, y'all gotta find more ways to hide that right hand. The dude hit you with a double uppercut like this was fight night in the. Oh my god, bro. He shoe shined you with the double uppercut, bro. Like I'm like, yo, the double uppercut landed, bro. Like we playing fight night. Ah, man, oh man, oh man. Good win, but this win most definitely showed us some things that you need to work on, bro. So please go and work on them. So the next time, the next outing, it will not look like this. You'll look like how everybody was expecting you to look after you beat what's my man name, Samuel Vargas. You dig? So that's all I had to say about it, man. Peace.